In 2019, 2K Sports released the latest entry in its wrestling franchise WWE 2K20, featuring the stars of World Wrestling Entertainment's many programs, along with the ability to create your own superstar to jump into the roster. You'd think the game would be a hit, right? Well, that's a big fat nope. In the past, the WWE games have produced some unfortunate but funny glitches, but those are child's play compared to some of the horrors players have come across in WWE 2K20. In one example, Charlotte Flair attempts to get a submission on her opponent while glitching straight through a sitting referee. Talk about getting too close for comfort. If that's not enough, a match between Dakota Kai and Ronda Rousey quickly becomes a comedy of errors. Between disappearing items, Rousey losing control of her legs, and the ropes wildly shaking out of control, it looks more like something resembling a horror game. These are just two of the many glitches fans have found in WWE 2K20. But don't worry, there are plenty more where those came from.
Over the years, guys, I'd say we've come to expect Shane McMahon to do some crazy things in the ring, but I don't think anybody expected to see him leap off the top of the cell at WrestleMania 32.
The My Career mode for WWE 2K19 wasn't too bad. It followed two up-and-coming wrestlers, Buzz and Cole, through the NXT circuit. Sure, it was corny at times, but it had some fun moments fans could relate to. However, WWE 2K20 reverses course with its charisma. It does provide the option of choosing between a male and female superstar this time around. Unfortunately, it doesn't really personify either of them that well, sticking them with laughable dialogue and bad jokes. And try as they might, WWE superstars like Samoa Joe, Natalya, and The Big Show can't elevate the material. It's not even close to the usual WWE Raw or SmackDown standard. Not to mention, it takes a good while to make progress, and it gets just downright silly at times. Like when you have to take part in a crybaby match. No, really, it's hardly the stuff wrestling dreams are made of. In the past, WWE games loaded their Season Pass programs with additional superstars, including legends and up-and-comers from NXT. WWE 2K19 Season Pass featured favorites like Ricochet, Ric Flair, and Candice LeRae. But this year's downloadable content took a weak turn. The WWE 2K20 Originals Pack consists of 4 content drops, including the just-released Bump in the Night featuring Bray the Fiend Wyatt. While it does feature its own WWE showcase to go through and new towers to challenge, its gimmicks get old very quickly. The downloadable content package includes 4 fantasy arenas, along with spooky versions of superstars like Fed Up Sheamus and Wicked Aleister Black. However, they look absolutely ridiculous in Halloween form. Black, for example, resembles something from our nightmares, like a White Walker or a photo negative gone horribly wrong. Undertaker and Bray Wyatt might eat this stuff up, but a majority of players will probably be left wondering if, well, that's all they get. Others may not even invest in the Season Pass this time around, and really, could you blame them? It's all just very meh. 2K's WWE 2K games have always been consistent, if just passable, when it comes to visual quality. But that changed once WWE 2K20 entered the ring. Fans could get an idea of what changes were in store from the gameplay trailer. Right off the bat, they could see that the character models had a bit of fuzziness to them. Digging deeper, it's easy to see that inconsistency within the game, especially during the My Career cutscenes and some of the wrestlers' transitions. And keep in mind, this is before even considering the massive glitches that are plaguing the game. It almost looks like the game was rushed to market, as if Visual Concepts wasn't even given the opportunity to render the wrestlers and some of their surroundings properly. Oh well, there's always next year. Graphics can't get much uglier than this, right?
I'm gonna go with no.
Those are just some of the biggest issues with WWE 2K20, and that's not even mentioning the lack of content, overly complicated skill trees, cartoonish payback moves, mediocre gameplay, and everything else that's working against this wonky embarrassment to the professional wrestling world. The WWE game's Twitter account stayed surprisingly and awkwardly silent following 2K20's disastrous launch, not providing dismayed players any solace for wasted money. It finally addressed the matter 3 days later, noting it was, quote, working hard to investigate these concerns, with the promise of an upcoming patch. Alas, there's a catch: the time frame. The account noted that the patch would arrive in the next 2 weeks, leaving game buyers to deal with the frustrating glitches in the meantime. There is a slight chance that this fix could arrive sooner, but 2K will probably take as much time as needed to address the game's multiple problems. That means it likely won't be ready until early November, and even then, that doesn't guarantee all its problems will be resolved. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more SVG videos about your favorite games are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.